Guys, I'm back. My name is Lavish, and now I'm going to talk about Active Directory attack surface risk management and how Qualys will help you with that to de-risk your business. So I'll start with what is Active Directory. Till that time, I want you to read this because I'll be talking about it, and you will have some better idea why am I talking about it. So Active Directory is the server that contains all the information of your complete organization. It has all the user records, computer records, organizational units, departments, accounts, groups, all the domain objects. The complete database is your AD. If you want to know the exact file name, it's ntds.dit. It exists on your Windows servers. And this is probably the most crucial server, right? But just now just imagine such server getting compromised. All the user data, each and everything about every domain object is compromised if this is gone. Now, you must be thinking, right, is it really compromised? Does these kind of things get compromised? So now see this data. We say it's like 90% of the organizations, global Fortune 1000 organizations are using Active Directory today, and 50% of them have experienced this AD attacks in last 1-2 years. Sad part is 40% got successful, which means that we are missing somewhere. There is no capability to check for these things, why these things are still happening, why the AD servers, the crown jewels of your organization, are still facing the attacks. So we wanted to understand that what are the top attack vectors, what are the avenues to compromise my AD, right? So these few factors that you see over here, not all are misconfigurations, not all are publicly disclosed vulnerabilities. These are risk, indicators of risk, right? So like too many administrators, it's not a misconfig. You just have too many administrators, right? But you should know, you should have some system that tells you, that alarms you that, OK, this AD has too many administrators, users with too many privileges, too many users with too many privileges, something that I need to worry about. I should be alarmed, fix this, remove the inactive ones, or remove the users which are not required. I should be alarmed. Short and sweet passwords, the best thing, right? I was doing some certified ethical course, a very simple course on hacking, and ABC123, password 123 with P capitals were the favorites, right? And you can hack into AD accounts with these. Leaving inactive accounts, recipe for disaster. So AD, we found that employees leave the organizations, but their accounts are still present in the AD. Why this is harmful is because some adversary can get into that, use that user's data to actually log in as a regular user. Service accounts with elevated privileges. Service accounts do not need to have elevated privileges, but if they are present in your account, in your AD system, you need to be alerted. So these are some most common issues. There could be a lot more, but these are the most common ones that we wanted to talk about. Now comes the challenge, like how do I measure this risk? How do I get to know this? And how do I communicate this risk? This has been the major challenge. Now, the biggest part that I see is lack of visibility, like which servers are actually AD servers in the environment, which are active, which are dormant, which have end-of-life softwares on it, which have some misconfigs or indicators of risk, which have weak policies. As you can see, like, just see this data, man. 81% of the data breaches involved weak passwords. As I was saying, ABC123, password 123, we say, OK, well, my P was caps. I should have been protected, but no. Identifying indicators of risk has been the major challenge. Why? Because it's not a misconfig, as I'm saying. It's not a misconfig that some tool will randomly tell you that, OK, it's a misconfig, fix it. No. 87% of the riskiest threat vector had been what? too many admins on the host, so many users with so many privileges, and no one will tell you that, right? The, the major challenge that I see is we know all of these things. Some tools can identify it. But how do I communicate this challenge? By knowing all those data points, how do I consolidate these data points and send it across to the respective stakeholders? This, I feel, had been the challenge. Now, what's the solution? Here's your solution. Qualys VMDR is extending to offer AD, attack surface risk management. What we'll have here is you'll easily measure the risk. Step 0, discover all your AD servers. Which are my AD servers in my environment? How many are exposed to Shodan? How many have the EOS assets on it? How many have what kind of misconfigs or what indicators that I need to know to measure step 0? Then go further in measuring the risk where I need to know what are the exact specific misconfigurations in my AD environment. What are the vulnerabilities? Which are the indicators of risk? Scan for those CVs, the known ones. Scans for indicators of risk using our predefined package of scripts imported as custom QIDs. As Iran in his session mentioned that you can create now custom QIDs with the scripts that Qualys is providing in the library. So we are providing this library for indicator of risk, import it as custom QID, and start your AD security. Detect your misconfigurations. The part of communicating the risk has also been simplified for you. Just create automated reports. I'll show you how simple is that, what's our innovation, what's our plan is once I show the demo. Create the reports, show your executives, this is the true risk of my AD. Once they know that, OK, 867, all the AD servers are in the critical risk zone, they'll try to figure it out. It will definitely ring some bells. Give your security teams a holistic view of the vulnerabilities. They really need to know the indicators of risk, like too many admins on the host that I just talked about. And what are all the misconfigs? Your compliance analysts need to know about the misconfigs because they need to scan the AD servers for that, for the compliance purposes. And the IT teams, they really want to know what are the patches, which patches I need to deploy, what are my remediation scripts. Are you giving me those remediation scripts? Are you getting those remediation scripts from Qualys? Yeah. Right? So you'll be getting these remediation scripts as part of Qualys library. 80+ remediation scripts are there. Just deploy those and figure it out. Eliminate your risk. Prioritize the AD vulnerabilities. If any known vulnerability is there, you'll have a QID for it. Just prioritize that, patch your AD. If there are any indicators of risk, there are 80+ Active Directory remediation scripts available in the Qualys library, Qualys script library, that you can use to fix your misconfigs or indicators of risk. If that's not all, start real-time monitoring using Qualys FIM. Just start for the monitoring of your critical files, registries, because our FIM goes for files, folders, registry objects. You can just scan and start your remediations in that code. With that, I'll go to the demo to show you how this product works and how simple we have made it. So within VMDR, as you can see, just see this new updates thing. And it will take you to the AD assessment. Now, if you're thinking, it could be very difficult, like how do I set up all those policies? How do I set up all those remediation stuff? How do I set up this, that? Don't worry about it. It's all kept under the hood. All you'll have is this simplistic UI wherein you can just select what to do and then go for it. For example, this start AD assessment. You go here. First part, discovering the AD assets. Now here, we're not only discovering your AD assets, we are discovering them. We are assigning an asset tag to them so that they are tagged. Once they are tagged, they can be used for checking the compliance posture using the policies in your SCA. These will be mapped against the vulnerabilities, indicators of risk, and will be scanned. And the remediation scripts can then be applied to this particular asset tag, AD_server, right? It could be anything. So a tag will be created automatically. It will be assigned to your AD hosts, which are discovered automatically. And then, let's say, like here, 5 AD hosts have been discovered. This AD server tag has been assigned to it. Now, you have measured step 0. You have discovered your AD servers. Now comes the next step. What are the misconfigs? What are the vulnerabilities in it? Just say next. You see step 2, enable Active Directory risk assessment, which comprises of 2 factors, vulnerability assessment and configuration assessment. So when I talk about vulnerability assessment, I go to 2 things. 1, publicly disclosed vulnerabilities, which will have standard QIDs. 2, the indicators of risk, for which we have custom QIDs created for you using scripts. So just view the QIDs that are there already for your AD. Similarly, go back in the enable configuration assessment section, check for the configuration assessment policy. Just click on it, and you'll be routed to the configuration assessment policy, wherein you can see 431 controls, 431 misconfiguration checkers are already there in the library. You don't need to do anything. And all of this is just for viewing purpose. You can check it, right? All of the assignment of tags to this for scanning against it will be done under the hood. No need to worry about it. You just need to say enable, yes, 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 like you install a software, right? So I'm just going inside one control, so you see that. And the part that you need to do, this view purpose is just to show you that when you are applying or scanning against something, you should know what you're scanning against. That's why we gave you that view. Just say yes to start scanning. Just say yes to enable configuration assessment and start assessment, right? Now, this will start. Will take some time, maybe an hour or so. I'm not sure. Once that is done, like when I say I'm not sure, it means I don't know how much data you have in your AD. It's not like I'm not sure what I'm talking about. So usually I'm not sure. Anyway, so once you see the AD servers are scanned, total 5 AD assets, 2 external facing, exposed to darknet, Shodan. 4 of them have end-of-life, end-of-service softwares on it. You know how critical that is, opening the doors for other misconfigs. 17 indicators of risk, 16 total misconfigurations. 5 AD servers, risk 827, very high. Now, if you want to see what are your indicators of risk, you see that query. Try to see that query. It has QID starting from the number 5100. That is the number we are giving to our custom QIDs. You will see these things, right? These are your QIDs that are detected. You see the details. I am not sure how visible it is, but yeah, this is the indicator of risk which has been detected, which contains too many admins, right? So like administrator John, Vegeta, Luffy, Jerry. Yeah, it's zoomed also. So a lot of indicators of risk you can see. And then we are focusing on the high risk. Now what to do for communication? You have this complete dashboard. Just create a report, schedule it, and let your security teams, your CISOs know the risk of the AD servers, the crown jewel assets of your organization. They should clearly know what's wrong with these, right? And then go to our custom assessment and remediation. The beautiful module that we created, it has complete control to do anything. You'll have complete control to do anything. You can create detection scripts, response scripts, or create custom QIDs, do all sort of actions, for example. And we do have a library of scripts. You don't need to write everything. For example, here from the library, we just selected Active Directory remediation scripts by the query like category, Active Directory remediation. Select this import all of this in the approved mode if you're a manager, otherwise review and then import. However you want to do it, import it. And once they're imported under your script section, which is your own user section, you can just check all of that, execute the script against the same asset tag that was created in step 1, if you remember, AD server, right? So that tag will show up over here. Just apply the remediation, bypass the PowerShell execution policy, because this is some policy on the host that is usually stopping the scripts to get executed at some times. So you might want to bypass it. It won't change the policy on your host. It would just bypass in the runtime. So, and say execute script. Once the scripts are executed, go back to your VMDR and go see the dashboard. The risk should have been decreased because your misconfigs, your indicators of risk, those things are fixed by the remediation scripts that are there in the library, right? So this is how powerful this capability is. And the reason why we are talking about is, like, you know how much of importance the AD servers hold. They contain the complete database of all the users, computers, OUs, departments, groups. Every domain object is there in your AD. So it's very, like, it's imperative to protect it, and you reduce the risk like this. And with this, I end my demo. Let me go with the last slide, please. Yeah, so this is one place to manage your AD risk. This capability is an extension of VMDR, and it will be in the beta state in Q4 and will be available by Q1. Thank you.